Judge's wig. First I'll read you this diatribe that AI Overview's come up with. Why is it diatribe? See, AI sees itself as a god. There is a Pharisee's reason as to why a judge wears a wig. Now I'll tell you the AI overview. Although there is fact to it all, it is not the primary reason. I'll get to the primary reason first, final and foremost at the end. While the judicial wig originated from 17th century European fashion and served practical purposes regarding hygiene and status, it has acquired symbolic, traditional and in some contexts spiritual or Christian interpretations over centuries in the British legal system. The Christian or symbolic purpose of the judge's wig. Symbol of divine wisdom and authority. In certain interpretations, the white wig symbolises the grey hair of age and experience, historically associated with wisdom. Some perspectives connect this to the wisdom of Solomon, King Solomon, the biblical King Solomon, signifying that the judge is acting with divine wisdom to deliver fair justice. Oh, cat, go away. Putting fur all over me. The wigged judge as representative of God. In some religious or traditional interpretations, the wig represents a covering or a form of angel's wings, symbolising that the judge acts under higher authority, God, as a supreme judge on earth. Okay, I'm going to touch on that. Yes. The wigged judge as representative of God is meant to separate the judge from God with his thoughts, so that his judgment, because man is not meant to have dominion over man. And I'm saying his, because a man is not afflicted with hormonal imbalances 5 days a month. It's just a fact. Sorry. The wigged judge as representative of God. In some religious or traditional interpretations, the wig represents a covering or a form of angel's wings. It's to protect the judge from God and the God from judge, as a man is not meant to have dominion over man. Hence why we're supposed to have a jury of our 12 peers in a court, not one person passing judgment, because you have personal biases. So it was meant to actually protect the judge from God's judgment for having judgment over another man in the commandments of men taught as doctrine. If you read Matthew, you will come to that in there on why that is. I'll come back to that. The separation and setting apart, holiness, similar to the Geneva gown or clerical robes. The wig, along with judicial robes, serves to set apart the judge from the rest of society. It is a form of, as described in Puritan traditions, covering the person, to focus on the office of judgment rather than the individual. It represents a putting off of personal bias or biases to become a humble servant of the law. That last word, law, is meant to have a capital L, it only has a lowercase l. A humble servant of the law is a humble servant of God. If you don't like it, you're on the wrong planet. You're under the wrong firmament. I'm not going to go there. To be a humble servant of the law, you must be a humble servant of God. Therefore, you must swear a lawful oath of office on the Lord's Bible to uphold the law. Now am I making sense to you? As you can see, I'm only reading this, and I have that. Right? Yes, it's the Gideon's Bible. Yes, I know it's not the King James version. Yes, I know it's not Torah. However, by obfuscating law, God's law, and coming under the lowercase l law, which is legislature, by obfuscating law with the revolving door of plea deals between prosecutors and solicitors, they are lawyers who are acting as legal representatives. They are not representing law. Are you seeing how they've messed about with the language to make you think that it's law? Of course it's law with a lowercase l. It's not the same law. They are the commandments of men taught as doctrine. Which is not law at all. Now, the laws and commandments of men taught as doctrine. Indoctrination. You must comprehend English literature properly. Doesn't mean you have to be a walking thesaurus. It means you must learn to comprehend the words that are being used and presented to you in their context, in the order that they are placed. If you do not comprehend, do not say you understand. Because you just never know what you're standing under. It is believed that if they are acting under the angel's wings, they are protected from the Lord's judgment. That's what the wig's for. Which is why you must always push to get yourself into a Supreme Court with a jury of your 12 peers. Otherwise, it's not guilty all the way. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, until such point that you are then offered the opportunity to face your accuser. And then, and only then, do you have two sides to the scales of justice to balance. Decided by a jury, not one single person. It's all a charade, people. On that note, God bless you.